Right, so 5th election victory, we're here. Lord knows what we're going to do. UBI is at the top, but have we reached peak GDP? Let's go. So, reshuffle. As always, they'll reshuffle themselves, I'm sure. GDP maxed out, health maxed out, education maxed out. Unemployment is going up, though, due to automation. Poverty started to increase a little bit. Crime's virtually non-existent. Oh, whistleblower to deal with first. Should we prosecute her and bring her to justice? Well, we could reform. Let's reform. Let's go be progressive. Liberals, foreign relations increased. Patriots aren't as happy. They are not happy with us, I don't think. Oh, Patriots a lot more happy than religious groups, though, for example. But if we look at debt now, that's started falling, so we've got a small surplus, but we are stuck, really. If we have really hit peak GDP. But we've got a lot of political capital at the moment. Unsurprisingly, we won 5 elections. So is there anything popular at the moment? Citizenship for sale is very popular. For some reason. The legacy benefit system is still pretty popular. Apart from state pensions, they are decreasing. They're seen as an addition now because of UBI. Banning things, diversity quotas. Helicopter money has remained popular forever, just handing out money, or QE, but we want to try and avoid that. Restricting trade unions, really popular. Tax. Carbon tax is still unavailable to us. Nobody fancies any other taxes. Allowances, yes. Taxes, no. Oh. Interestingly, we've got some options to ban things, but they aren't very popular. No one wants things nationalised. Regulate social media would really help us with our social media addiction. Law and order, ban divorce. You must stay together forever. There is really nothing new. Prisoner voting. Interesting. Prisoner voting looks very popular. Private prisons. Make crime go down. Proportionate fines still not popular, even though that does feel like the right thing to do. Quite a few that are still way unavailable to us. Ban women from driving. That wouldn't be very equal, would it? Electric cars initiative, we did scrap that last term. Right. Interesting. Feels like we should do something with all that political capital, but should we go with something unpopular at first? Tax. Internet tax. Internet tax isn't that unpopular, but damage industry. Ooh, plastic bag tax we scrapped after we banned plastic bags. Punitive wealth tax. Cap CEO pay. Some of these are probably a result of the fact that we have, like, literally a massive percentage of the population that are now capitalists. Liberals are up there as well. They're kind of reflecting what we are doing at the moment. We look at our income. Income tax by far the biggest. We've raised nearly extra 100 billion a quarter since our first term. UBI certainly on top in terms of expenditure now. Let's go with something big, and it might even be unpopular, but might help us overall. Let's go with an international fusion research project, maybe. Not as happy within the environment. but it does boost technology, foreign relations, which we do need to work on. It is going to cost us quite a bit of money though. Ooh, we possibly want to find something that's a bit of a better win for us. That wouldn't cost as much to do genetic meat. Oh, this is so difficult to think about. School vouchers, everyone's income goes up. I feel like that might be overblown a little bit. Anti-corruption agency is not popular for some reason. Oh, prisons were quite popular, weren't they? Reduce crime, reduce unemployment, wouldn't cost us a lot. Well, prisoner voting is really popular, but we might want to save that towards the end of the term to boost things. Let's go with private prisons. They don't cost a lot, and it would reduce crime a bit and unemployment, which remains stubbornly high. Let's go with it. Anything else? A border navy, eco-home regulations. Build eco-friendly houses, reduce our CO2 emissions. Let's go with that as well. Energy efficiency, the energy industry aren't that happy about it. Alright, let's go with that. Let's see where we are at now. Russian ships, we need to really get things going up. Tax evasion, bad situation, on the cusp of starting. We don't want that because our income will drop massively. More people signing up. We've only got about half the vote now. So soon after the election. Debt hasn't peaked at 2 trillion, but it is starting to come down, albeit very slowly. GDP's up there. Global economy's taking a bit of a turn for the worse. It's a bit of like term 5 wilderness, this. Social media addiction is having a bad effect on education, productivity and mental health. I think even though it's not popular, you might have to try and grasp this. And it's not going to cost us a lot. Social media can be fun, even beneficial, but regulation may be required to ensure that it's not full of fake news, conspiracy theories, or handing the large megaphone to extremists. Nobody likes the idea of government dictating what is said in line, but without regulation in some form, social media could cause serious damage to our society, and we are seeing that in some ways, so let's go with it. Age restrictions, time restrictions, total ban. Active monitoring, takedown policies, extremist banned. Let's go with age restrictions. Help with social media addiction. Liberals aren't as happy, conservatives more happy. Let's go with that. And see where we end up. Rewrite school history books. They're outdated and reflect a generous view of our country and past achievements. Campaigns suggesting maybe change the way children are taught history to evaluate our past with modern history. Well, we can rewrite them without... We don't have to get rid of old books, but we can rewrite some new ones. Yeah, why not? Why not? Social media addiction is dropping slightly. We are going to have to do more though if we want... can we not encourage people to go outside? There's not an encourage people to go outside policy. People really want a right to privacy. Which again is another good thing to do. Ooh, citizenship for sale. People really want that, don't they? Do we go with it? We do kind of already do that. We worry about bureaucracy though, don't we? So we don't want to damage the surplus, even though we do want to increase UBI further. Drug treatment is at the maximum. What other social ills have we got here? Environmental protests are still happening. Why? The environment is contributing to them, unsurprisingly. GDP, massive negative effect. We've got loads of positives though. Air travel, what's funding that? GDP. Frequent flyer tax is there. It's really popular with voters. Want to be careful not to trigger tax evasion though, which is a bit of a problem, and that would damage GDP. Oh, this it's definitely harder the longer you stay in power, I think. Definitely. Petrol tax. Again, we worry about stoking tax evasion, but as we're not making any income from it anymore, do we get rid of it? Because the electric car transition is now like complete. Let's cancel petrol tax, not making us anything anyway. Reduce the tax burden, hopefully stave off tax evasion, and we're not actually making anything off it, so what is the actual point? Single adoptions? Yeah, why not? Children need families. Popular with the majority of voters, 88%, we've still got a small surplus. Fantastic. Hybrid cars initiative is costing us a load and making us nothing. It's fueling the electric car transition, but we've completed it. Hopefully this won't send it into reverse. It is very popular. It's reducing our oil demand. It's increasing car usage. It's costing us 100 million. Whether we want to kind of touch that at the moment, I don't know, but it would reduce kind of tax burden. What else can we do to do with cars? Driverless cars are way up there, which is helping. New car subsidies. We've already got 100% electric cars. Fuel efficiency standard. I mean, these are quite popular policies, so perversely, even though they're not doing a lot, would actually damage our reputation. Clean fuel subsidies, again, really popular. Biofuel subsidies is reducing our CO2 emissions. We're at like 0%. Which is amazing. We sorted the environment. I don't want to cancel too many of those at once. Oh, no stakes limit. No restrictions. Could raise it up to the highest of no stakes limit. Boost GDP a bit, reduce unemployment, boost capitalism, boost tourism. Let's go with that. A little bit more gambling. Hopefully we don't cause a problem there. See where we are at. Scientific breakthrough. New battery science has been developed in our country which will change the way the world's machines are powered. With double the capacity density, existing products are redesigned around smaller cells and new previously impossible battery powered products are created. Our government's ability to highly educate domestic scientists to attract overseas talent has paid off. Electric car transition plus 25%. That'll take away the effect of the transport policy be cancelled. Tax evasion is approaching. Well, it's middling along there. To watch it. 87%, we're still really popular. The surplus is small but getting bigger. And debt is heading back down again. This is all good. This is all good. Bus subsidies. Bus subsidies. Bus usage. Bus usage is at about 60%, which is amazing. Carpooling campaign. We want to keep that, even though it's not greatly popular because it's not really costing us a lot. Subsidised school buses. Again, really popular. Toll roads. Making us a little bit of income and maybe keeping a clamp on congestion. Telecommuting, really popular again. Anything else we can do on transport? State airline. Interestingly. Electric cars initiative, congestion charging. Satellite road pricing is interesting. Prisoner voting and the right to privacy. Right to privacy. If we're at peak GDP, does that really matter that much anymore? Will it have a big enough effect? Let's implement it. It's the right thing to do. Little hit on GDP, but Liberals are a lot happier. Some restrictions. Some restrictions. Let's go with some restrictions. Law and order. Proportionate fines. Police drones. There's nothing else we can do to help people go outside and off social media, is there? Ban coal is getting more popular now. Put our oil demand up as a nation though, there's no point shifting the problem away. We don't really want to touch tax at the moment whilst we're on the cusp of tax avoidance. Feels like we've reached peak tax in term 5 as well. Border controls, we do want them. Are there any other taxes that aren't really doing anything? Packaging tax is popular and making the stuff. Sales tax is not popular at all, but it makes us 43 billion. We just can't sacrifice it. Tobacco tax, we've already hiked previously. Property tax. A graduate tax. Seems a bit unethical, but inheritance tax. We have hiked before. Frequent flyer tax. Capital gains tax. We've put up. Car tax. Still making us a bit of money, that car tax. Charity tax relief. Increases charity. We want to keep that, don't we? Not seeing that one in 5 old terms. Corporation tax we've raised, but airline tax. Alcohol tax. It's already at 51%. We don't really want to raise any taxes. We want to kind of mellow out some of those. Expenditure. UBI is now 20% of our budget. Social care, not popular at all. But it is really low. The Mars programme is still coming into effect. Environmental protests are staying stubbornly high, and the bureaucracy is up there. We need to try and get rid of some stuff. Labour Day bank holiday. I mean, I guess it's not even relevant to the UK really, is it? But it's not such a big hit. Let's have a look at GDP actually while we're here. GDP, we're still peak GDP. So maybe that's less of a concern now than it was before. Nuclear fission. Arguably renewable decommission at end of life. We've got there our space program, robotics research, we want to keep the technology going. Rural development, really popular, we probably don't want to touch that. Labour laws. Balanced, we could keep them balanced, but improve workers' rights. If we did that, it's going to cost us a bit more money, but socialists start becoming a trade unionist. Working week decreases. Capitalism decreases. Productivity goes down slightly, but it does start tackling the gig economy a bit. Let's go with that. Move on. We are protecting that surplus quite nicely. Oil drilling opportunity in the protected wildlife refuge. We can't damage the environment. Come on now. This is whatever year it is now, probably somewhere in the late 2030s. Well regarded food manufactured junk food tax. I've been complaining about that for decades now. 86% of the vote tomorrow. Global economy is doing okay. Budget surplus is increasing a little bit. So we are going down on the debt slowly but surely, which would be lovely to pay off, because look at that, 8.63 billion there that we could throw into something else. At least it's 3.6% now, down from the heady days of 8%. Business startup campaign is already maxed. Is there anything else we can do with labour laws? We could make it pro-union. It's not very popular though. Labour laws aren't popular with the public at the moment. Unexplained wealth orders. Witness protection, we want to keep that. Speed cameras. Speed cameras. Speed cameras everywhere. Speed cameras aren't popular. It would boost health somewhat. A little bit of extra income. Yeah, let's go with it. Got 9 left now. Prisons. Basic provision. Modern buildings. State-of-the-art prisons. Provide more jobs, reduce crime. Wouldn't cost a lot. Let's go. Alright, let's see where we're at now. Increased school inspections are a concern. School standards are slipping in the current regime of examining teachers in schools. Insufficient campaigns suggest toughening up the system with more frequent inspections. Well, teaching children is difficult enough as it is, as well as being poorly paid and undertaken by dedicated professionals. This proposal will simply heap extra bureaucracy and take time away from actual teaching. It's insulting to suggest that dedicated public service workers like teaching need further scrutiny. Keep the current system, because there's no option to scrap it. Foreign Affairs, Joel Clark, not really happy. He would like to plant flags on every street corner. Alright. Feels like that's not a resigning issue, I'll be honest, but anyway, we'll see. 86% the vote tomorrow, if the vote was tomorrow, and we've still got a small surplus. Right, what else can we do to press freedom? Press is very free here, which we like. Prisoner tagging. Liberals don't like it, but if it keeps on hammering down on crime, although crime is like non-existent now. Woohoo! Narcotics outlawed. Medicinal cannabis, I mean that's kind of where we're at now, isn't it? Possible opportunities. The Drug Enforcement Agency would cost us less, Liberals less unhappy, crime increases ever so slightly, but we can keep a check on that. Legal drug consumption will go up a lot. Should drugs such as cannabis and heroin be legalised? Support suggests that it's crime associated with buying black market drugs that cause problems, and legalising narcotics would reduce crime. Opponents point to health risks and say it would be giving in to criminals. Well, medicinal cannabis is somewhere we've moved on to, isn't it? Let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. If it's medically backed up and from official sources and is to treat a medical condition, is it different to other things? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Right, let's go. Ministerial resignation. Great. He did go. Because of the flags. Right. Let's go with Victor Williams. You're up next. Flash crash. Wish that would stop happening. Let's have a look at automated trading. 73% in the polls. Small surplus of 2.83 billion. National debt is falling. Relative GDP has crashed because of that flash crash. I'm sure there was something here to do with limit automated trading, but we can't do it yet. And it's not very popular. Ah, haha. Oh, all the tax. Recreational drugs tax, yes, but... Oh, we're not on the cusp of tax evasion though anymore. That's not come up for the past couple of terms. It's not very popular, but let's go with it. Medium tax on it. Slight effects on legalised drug consumption, slight increases there. Let's go with that. Let's hope it doesn't blow up in our faces. Gambling, we've already changed recently. Drug Enforcement Agency. Combating violent crime, the cost is reduced thanks to the changes we made last term though. Community policing is at the maximum. CCTV cameras is at the maximum. Body cameras, maximum. Alcohol law, min age 18. Popularity with voters is very high. Do we put it to minimum age 21? Or do we go further? Let's trial 21, shall we? Try and reduce some of the social ills. Tourism goes down slightly. Let's see. Surgical strikes. Terrorists started to attack vital pipelines. Protecting our supply is important, but we shouldn't be invading other countries, and our military probably isn't up to it with the cuts we've done, so we won't engage. Chancellor's getting tired. Aren't we all? Internet crime is potentially going to get up there. Need to keep an eye on that. 80% if there was a vote tomorrow. Import tariffs, well, they are popular overall. Global economy's in recession. What's our budget look like? 3.46 billion. We are riding that wave quite well, which is good. Relative GDP's bounced back after the flash crash. Maybe. Bounces back after a turn because it's so resilient. Maybe it's not worth tackling the flash crash scenario. What's this one? Gay marriage. Put it to maximum. Judicial independence is high. Why don't we make it maximum? Increased democracy, massively decreased corruption. Liberalism's happy, yeah. The judiciary should be independent. Of course. Police force is at maximum funding. Firearms laws, strict controls, or do we go to a licence and minimum age, or a total ban? Total ban would increase crime though, that's the only negative. This one, executive term length, 5 years. It's very popular with voters. Art subsidies, we've got on max. Adult education, we've really pushed up education. Compulsory foreign language classes. Compulsory food labelling. Is low. Keep the country tidy, that's in overdrive. Selective schooling. Subsidise the best schools down to no selection. If we went to no selection, the Liberals get happier, the Conservatives less so, Socialists. Mental health improves. Education improves, equality improves. Yeah, let's go to a non-selective system then. Why not? Let's see where we're at. This term 5 is turning into a bit of a variety of policies. We've not really got any solid aim like the UBI that we can focus on whilst the surplus is so low. Cause tough up the driving test regime to ensure new drivers are better prepared for road conditions. Cars are getting safe. There's driverless technology. I don't think there's any point making the change, to be honest. Global economy's in recession. We've still managed to secure our surplus. Prudent financial management. That is going to be our term 5. Legacy, I would say. Polls report 76. Middle income earners, what do they hate? Income tax. How are we doing on social media addiction? Just dropped quite a bit, but we would need to toughen up. Because youth club subsidies at the maximum, we need to toughen up regulations. Do we do time restrictions? That seems a bit archaic. But it would massively combat social media addiction. Let's see if we can get it under control. We might be able to slightly release it later. Environment is stubbornly high. Gig economy should be coming to an end, which is good. Luddite Riots, because the automation of their jobs. Education's having massive downward effect on that. The only problem I think is everything's high. Oh, public libraries. It's not even going to cost us $1 billion to take that up massively, and it will improve education, improve equality, and the retired will like it, and we have hit them over the past couple of terms, so... Not literally, obviously. That would not be the right thing to do. National team exits the World Cup. It always happens to us. Why is it having such a negative effect on everybody? Oh, why are we never winning it? Gig economy. The gig economy is no longer a major source of employment. Woohoo. Polls report 77%. The global economy is in deep recession, but we have still protected our surplus. This is good economic management. 1.95 trillion. Fantastic. Right. Is there anything else we can get? Labour Day is still really popular. Right. Social media addiction. Is that starting to tumble now? Oh, look at that. We've nearly got it to stop, which will improve life for everybody. Going to this, the Luddite Riots. How can we get that down even further? Education has a negative effect on it. Wages have a negative effect on it. UBI helps that. We can't hike it at the moment. Let's have a look. Expenditure, UBI. I mean, if we just went crazy and spent another 45 billion, then wages go up about another 5%. Charity isn't needed. Bureaucracy's down. Poverty decreases massively. Oh, just the risk benefit at the moment is not high enough. It's this recycling. We've got universal doorstep collection, living the dream on that. Right, let's have a look at education again. Public libraries still improving. Selective schooling, social media addiction, state broadcaster. It's like we need to focus on social media addiction because that'll remove a negative totally. Graduate tax is causing problems, including the generational wealth gap, and making the youth not like us very much. And it's pretty unfair, but we would kill our entire surplus there. I think we need to see where this takes us now. I know we've got a lot of political power, but we need to kind of end social media addiction first, which hopefully should happen now. Foreign presidential visit, fast-growing economy, but as country's record in human rights is highly questionable. Well, we need to be able to influence them. We need to be open, don't we? GDP increases slightly. People aren't happy now. Internet crime is nearly with us. Need to keep an eye on that. Organ donation, they're really happy with that. 78% in the polls. Deep recession, but we are maintaining our surplus. We have immunised ourselves from global recessions, which is awesome. Prisoner voting would increase democracy and liberalism, which we have hit recently. And it wouldn't cost an awful lot of money. Social media addiction. Oh, look at that! Unbelievable. And that's at full effect now. If we go up any higher... to a total ban. Banning social media. I mean, this is not popular with voters, but I'm scared of doing that. We kind of don't believe in that, but if it gets it below there, we can go back to our current level without triggering it again, and it will improve everyone's health. This feels like the right thing to do in the short term. Right, we're going for it. We're banning it. We're banning it. Then let's see where we're at. Corporate manslaughter bill. To be prosecuted for manslaughter if been found guilty of negligence. Yeah. There's no argument against that, I don't think. Claude Martin, Chancellor, is getting tired. 79% of the vote in that election. Deep recession, but with increasing our small surplus despite the global economy. Look at that, has tanked. We're still managing to pay down our debt with a non-existent deficit for nearly a whole term. You know, that is good. That is amazing. Any big things we've got here? Secret courts. Public services. Compulsory language lessons. Would help us to be more culture that is dropping down in the country. Boost immigration, reduce racial tension, increase education. Do you know what? We're going with it. Maximum. Decrease racial tension, increase education, increase foreign relations, which we needed to work on. International trade gets a massive boost. Immigration demand. Patriots aren't as happy, but let's go. Social media addiction should be ending soon. So I reckon if we time this right now, wherever social media's gone, regulating social media, we can take it back to the high end of time restrictions and be winning still. Let's see where that puts us. Demand from donor. They want a punitive tax on superstores. This is quite popular. But we've nearly got tax evasion. I'm afraid not. Policy reversal. What did we reverse? Regulate social media. Ah. Well, okay, we'll take that. Social media addiction. Social media use by citizens now thankfully dropped to more reasonable levels. Fantastic housing market boom. House prices have hit record highs. Good indication the economy is going from strength to strength. Everyone is making money and able to fulfill the aspirations, growing their property portfolio. Except we've banned second home ownership, so... But more people can buy their own property, which is good. Some hawkish economists see it's a temporary bubble waiting to burst, but most are making hay whilst the sun shines. It is increasing the generational wealth gap, though, and affecting the poor. It's one of those good news stories which actually seems pretty bad overall, to be fair. 81% of the vote. Deep recession, but our surplus is still intact. Fab. The environment, the perennial environment problem. GDP, which we don't want to tank, is having a massive negative effect on it. We have reached peak GDP, 100%, it is confirmed. We cannot be more GDP'd if we try. Car usage, air travel, but cars are like 100% electric. I guess there is the batteries and all that stuff. Pollution controls, major fines. Reforestation is at maximum. Plastic tax is not at maximum. If we increase that more, tax evasion. Tax evasion, tax evasion. We don't want tax evasion. Hybrid cars initiative is not going to cost us a lot of money, but will boost the environment another 5%. Let's go with that. Let's do a bit for the environment now in this part of the term, I think. Micro-generation grants are at the maximum. Keep the country tidy, maximum. Hybrid cars we've just done. Game hunting restrictions. would reduce tourism a bit, but we've got a boost from that for our foreign language lessons, and it would help the environment. The poor wouldn't be happy. I'm not so sure a big activity of the poor is hunting animals for sport. So let's ban it. Let's ban it. Where's the environment gone? Compulsory water meters we've maximised. Clean fuel subsidies we've maximised. Clean energy subsidies we've maximised. We are a very clean society. Car emissions limits are maximised. So the only thing here would be to stop the economy, which doesn't seem very helpful. Have we got anything else on? Carbon tax would help, wherever that's gone. Look at that. But we can't do it at the moment, so there's no point dreaming about it. Transport. Boost the environment, but what's the point in having a hybrid cars initiative when everybody's driving an electric car? Climate change adoption fund. Helps environmentalists, not the environment. It's pretty weird that, isn't it? Right, let's see where we're at. I can't think of anything legitimate that we should change. Appoint a UN ambassador, as our one is retiring now. Well-known patriot or a popular figure on the international stage. Let's boost our popularity. Internet crime is still kind of hovering there, but doesn't feel like it's going up. Some things are living hell because of national highways. Planning laws should protect that. Government's popular. Our small surplus is increasing. We continue to paying down the debt this term, which is amazing. And the global economy is starting to pick up. We've still not got our AAA rating back, but I reckon we could get that. We could get that. Let's leave things as they are. I don't think there's anything worth changing at the moment. No point rocking the boat for the sake of it. Blasphemy? Highly critical of a religion? Well, yeah. Okay, you cannot give in to the hands of a small group of extremists demand that we ban the website. Before we know it, there'll be capitalists wanting to ban online archives of Karl Marx. Freedom to express people's views, even if controversial one, is one of the basic freedoms of our society, definitely. Religious groups really aren't liking us at the moment. Predicts we get 72% of the vote, 4.75 billion. That keeps increasing nicely, despite the global economy being in recession. The debt is coming back under control. Right, who's least happy with us? Religious people are least happy with us, but there's only 1.3% of the population that are now religious. Middle income is 75% of the population, but they are hating the income tax. Trade unionists, 30%. It's pretty high, actually. It's increased. Foreign investment restrictions. Oh, we said around this time we might go for prisoner voting, didn't we? Because it's popular. Would increase democracy. Not as popular as it was, but still a big boost, I think. Let's allow prisoner voting, why not? It might help with rehabilitation, reintegration in society. In some countries, all prisoners retain the right to take part in elections in order to encourage feeling of still being part of society to ensure their welfare is represented. That is a very good point. In others, the right to vote is seen as a privilege granted to those who abide by society's rules and rightfully removed for those who are incarcerated. We need to give everybody a stake so we don't alienate them from society, I think. Increased liberalism, increased democracy. Increasing democracy cannot be a bad thing. Let's see where we're at now. Demand from donor, ban coal. He's very generous. Would help the environment. A medium ban on coal. Help the environment. Slight hit on GDP. It would reduce CO2 emissions though. Let's go. It's only half popular with the voters, but let's do it then. You've won me over. The Chancellor's still not decided. Leaving the Union. You have inherited a referendum result. Wow. In our 5th term now, so that referendum really took a long time to be implemented, and we thought Brexit was a long time. It's taken, what is that? Nearly at the end of our 5th term of 5 years, so nearly 25 years to implement the will of the people. Makes Brexit seem like a walk in the park, eh? And the people's will must be adhered to. The nation was split in half over whether to remain in the Union with our trade neighbours. By the finest of margins, the electorate voted to leave the super state. Our own laws, constitution and markets so entangled with the unions that leaving seems an impossible bureaucratic task. However, what leave means wasn't defined, so it might be an opportunity for a political land grab. Patriots happy, Liberals, international trade and GDP is hammered. Great. 74% popular. Global economy is in deep recession. It's taking a turn for the worse again, but our budget surplus is continuing to increase nicely, which means we can keep on paying down the debt even though the economy is turning back miserable again. The economy, global economy, does not do well at all comparatively in these later terms. Not well at all. Where are we at with the environment now? It's staying stubbornly high, that, isn't it? It's staying stubbornly high. Don't think there's a lot we can do about it at the moment, though. So let's carry on. Speed limits. Speed limits raised. They were set many years ago before braking importance improved. We have got driverless cars now. Speed limits exist for a reason. Let's keep people safe. Campaign speeches. Right, let's give a speech to the farmers. The young aren't as happy with us. Let's do that. Socialists are already really happy with us. The Liberals could do with a bit of a boost. And the trade unionists definitely so. Let's see where that takes us. This is looking good. Still good. Still good. I think we can call this a success so far. Definitely. Fantastic. Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. Right, what else can we tweak? Luddite Riots. Education is being boosted, but it's already at the maximum. Wages are at 80% of their maximum. Minimum wage. Ooh, interestingly, we've not talked about this before, but a completely unregulated labour market can lead to wages that trap people in poverty. The government set minimum wage to address this and reduce inequality, but minimum wages are a market distortion that could push companies out of business. We're at medium at the moment. If we went to maximum, wages would increase, socialism would increase, equality would increase, capitalists wouldn't like it, unemployment would increase a bit. Poverty would decrease, poor income would increase. Not very popular, but let's go with it. Sometimes we just need to be brave. So we can try and end these Luddite riots without costing us a fortune. UBI is the obvious way, but GDP, we're at peak GDP growth. Immigration forces wages down a bit, according to system, so there's a payroll tax, but it makes us a lot of money. We're doing any spending that we don't really need to do. Small business grants. Boost GDP, we don't want to affect that. Science funding. We are proud scientists. I think we've kind of cut everything we possibly could want to, so we're approaching the next election. Illegal immigration amnesty. Welcomes property citizens who pay tax like anybody else. However tough we are, it doesn't change the status of people already here. Many illegal immigrants worked and lived here for years, and it simply makes economic sense. Improve social cohesion, less black market work, more tax, a double win. It's offering amnesty. Oh, illegal immigration has gone up. Well, obviously. I guess we would expect that. Endangered species. After a highly publicised population of endangered species native to our country, these animals attract naturalists and tourists alike to be studied as well as enjoyed on expeditions. Our tourism sector is boosted by this unique aspect of our environment, so we are boosting the environment massively, which is good, and we're getting some foreign aid. Well, we'll go with that. Campaign speeches, right. I don't think there's any point speaking to religious groups. There's 1% membership and they're not happy with us and probably never are going to be with our science-based approach. So let's speak to the young. Let's speak to the conservatives. Let's speak to the wealthy. Let's speak to the self-employed. Look at that, 68% happiness, 43% membership. Alright, start. Oh dear. Oh dear, we tried to speak to the Conservatives and they weren't happy with that. Very mixed. Very mixed. Surplus is now 6 billion. Which is good. Partner membership is the largest by a noticeable margin. Yep, 19.5 million compared to 1.1 million and 3,700. Perceived as 3% trustworthy, a very strong leader and compassionate. Well, it's good that it's all in the right direction. We're continuing to pay down the debt. Where is that AAA rating? Where is that AAA rating? UBI, top expenditure still. Okay, once we can get rid of that debt, like, life will be awesome, won't it? Because look, debt interest is only 3.5%, but it's 8.41 billion. That can go straight into UBI. I think this is going to be the first term where we've managed to maintain a surplus throughout, touch wood. Hopefully I've not jinxed it. Demand. Mandatory micro generation. I thought we already had that. Oh, no, we didn't have mandatory micro generation. And we can do it now. It doesn't cost a lot. It's not very popular though. But it will help the environment. Let's do it. Let's put it to maximum. Oil demand decrease, CO2 emissions decrease. Because they are rising a bit with the economy. The environment gets a boost. The energy industry doesn't like it, but you know what? We're going to go with that. Why not? Whilst we can do it as well, because we need a lot of political capital for that. Oh, the Chancellor has finally resigned. Keith Flores, step up. Poverty's going down again. We've eliminated poverty again. Unemployment. It's from Russian ships. They keep doing this. We need to get on that. But it costs a lot of money. This is the problem. New major party donor. Happy days. 92% popularity. Global economy's in deep recession, but we've got 6 billion surplus still. We are literally, that is creeping up all the time, we have literally influenced, we've literally insulated ourselves from the global economy. Oh, we've not got enough political capital for a speech, so we'll have to skip that now, but at least we've placated a donor. And it is election day. That came around fast. We've certainly got biggest spending boost, activist boost, but can we win? We did get a surge in popularity towards the end of the term. But it was a very bitty term, but we have managed to stick to our UBI policy while sorting out social media addiction with more restrictions on civil liberties than we were required, but we have limited that back down now. Still on time restrictions. We'll have to see whether we can deal with that again next term, if we get a next term. Now, I can't think of anyone aside from a dictator who's won a 6th term, so let's see if we have won a 6th term in our fabulous democracy. Let's go! This is looking amazing. This is looking... Wow. Yes, okay, that is our best result ever, I think. Joint best result in terms of majority. I think we've had 87% before, but look at that. Most of the non-voters are ours, but we still got 74.7% of the vote. 56.2 million people voted for us. The United Left, which surged last time with over 10% of the vote, has now dropped way back down, so we've taken their ground off them. The New Right having been decimated, has increased ever so slightly, but smaller parties are actually getting close to being the official opposition when combined. But the United Left remains our official opposition with 4.6% of the vote. So our turnout was 85.32%, which is amazing. Even though the majority of non-voters are our own, Conservatives are back to being broadly happy with us. Is anyone really unhappy with us? We've still got a 17% share of the religious vote, even though they really aren't happy with us. Retired people again, getting the biggest share of the vote. The poor overwhelmingly vote for us, as well as the wealthy. We've managed to balance those two communities, the poor and the wealthy together. Self-employed, liberals, we've managed, socialists, capitalists, we've literally managed to unite all political spectrums and get 75% of everyone voting for us, which is amazing. Youth, ethnic minorities, farmers, state employees, parents. We are really doing well there. Private pensions continue to rise. Private housing continues to rise thanks to the change in state housing policy last term. Currency strength going up. Automation still increases. Energy efficiency increased. Productivity increasing. Crime and oil price down. International trade is still staying perennially low. We probably need to address that. GDP, it's got nowhere to go, but we're maintaining that. A surplus throughout every quarter was amazing, helping us pay down the debt. Wages up, lifespan up. Wages helped by our massive hike in minimum wage that will continue on into the historic term 6. Technology increased, air travel increased, crime down, education up, CO2 emissions we have hammered this term, and hopefully the effects will continue to go. Food price still down, people are eating more plants, great. Illegal immigration is down massively, even though we had that amnesty, it's still down massively. Alcohol consumption down nearly a third now. Human development up nearly a third. Gender equality up. Immigration up. Clearly we're making it a more welcoming country. Electric car transition. Oil supply is down. Cryptocurrency. Crypto is stalling in its gains, but is going up. Could be a new tax revenue. Bus usage, foreign relations is going up, which is exactly what we want. It was spiked it down. Working week is now down a quarter. Delivered an extra day off and more to people. Traffic congestion down. Rare earth metal prices keeping in check. Legal drug consumption. We did legalise medicinal cannabis, so that's gone up nearly a fifth. Generational wealth gap and corruption continue to go down. Inflation is starting to become a little bit of a problem. Need to keep an eye on that. But overall, equality is still stubbornly down. We'll have to take a look at the reason for the cause of that. Charity is down, but probably because of UBI, so that's not worrying. Democracy up 10%. Of course, that is a good thing. Unemployment is creeping up slightly, but nothing to worry about at the moment. Voter analysis. So the person who agrees with us least still agrees with us more than they don't agree with us. Vincent Carter. He's sympathetic to the United Left, so he agrees with our policies, maybe just not with our party. Courtney Lopez is our super fan. I'm sure she's been up there before. Oh, look at that though. This dude, Matthew Peterson, 100% agrees with us, but voted for the new right. Maybe he just thought we were getting too many votes and might make us complacent. Could be right. We have ended up all the way over here on turn 100, which is interestingly turn 10. Bug alert, but we have retained our 100% capitalist, 100% liberal ratio. So we're more like whoever that is there, Ayrand, is it? And right, Tony Blair was over there between socialist and conservative. Donald Trump was conservative capitalist over there, so we're not really changing much now on the political compass, which is interesting to see. So another historic victory for us in the election, and 56.2 million votes isn't something to be afraid of. We've done lots of social changes this term, and moving on to next term we'll have to see if we can keep on paying down that debt, retain our surplus and keep everyone happy. Don't forget to hit like on the video and subscribe for more democracy videos. See you later.